Hello, Cancer. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina, otherwise known as Sinfulpluto, and today we're doing your Mercury retrograde reading. Okay, this is going to apply to Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Of course, this is a general reading, so it might not apply to everyone, and that's okay. Take what resonates with you, if anything at all, and leave the rest that doesn't. All right, take it all with a grain of salt. Nothing I say is set in stone, and most of all, sit back, relax, have a good time, enjoy yourself. All right, maybe have drink some water, refill your water bottle, have a snack, whatever have you. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm using the Spacious Tarot. I'll be linking it down below if you're interested in checking it out. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So let's see what's going on for you, Cancer. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ. Well, I see that you're feeling anxious, Cancer. I see you feeling very anxious, a little defensive. All right, so what's going on for Cancer this Mercury retrograde? What's going on for Cancer? Oops, that was too many cards. What's going on for Cancer this retrograde? Okay, two cards fell out. Bottom of the deck is Justice reversed. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles reversed. Okay, we have the Fool reversed. Justice reversed. Queen of Pentacles reversed. Wow, okay. So the King and the Queen. We have the Wheel of Fortune upright. Four of Pentacles reversed. And then we have the Explorer of Swords, otherwise known as the Knight of Swords. So having the Knight of Swords at the bottom of the deck as the overall energy for this retrograde season, this to me kind of talks about... I feel like some of you might be some sort of like mediator or something. Or you need to be a mediator or something along those lines. So, okay, so Knight of Swords, right? This talks about basically having a bird's eye view of something, like needing to look at a situation objectively, but you're missing bits and pieces of information. Like you don't have every bit of the puzzle. You're still missing a few things. There's still a lot of information that you're missing out on. It seems as though you're not well informed on something, but you're either being forced or obligated or encouraged or pushed to make some sort of decision, whatever decision this might be for you. I don't know if someone is trying to make you choose, like someone is trying to make you choose between them or another person. Like they're trying to give you some sort of ultimatum or whatever. Like, I don't know if this is like an ultimatum or like there's some sort of choice that you might have to make or some sort of justice that has to be served. But I feel, because with this Knight of Swords, this talks to me about like you are literally missing out on bits and pieces of the story. You don't know, maybe you don't know the other side of the story. It feels like, because we have the King and the Queen of Pentacles and they're both reversed, which to me kind of talks about how they're trying to serve their own agenda. So I don't know, it kind of feels to me that for some of you, you might be in a situation where you're trying to to mediate between some sort of argument or discussion or whatever conflict this might be for you. And they're like, it feels like you're just caught in the middle between these two people, potentially earth signs, or maybe it's like parents or something, or maybe like friends or whatever. Like they're trying to make you choose between them. They're trying to make you choose like who you care for more or whatever the case. And it just feels like they're both kind of playing victim in a way, or they're taking out certain tidbits of the story to persuade you to be on their side. So it's not like, so it just feels like they're not being completely honest with you about things. And it leads to like this overall like biased view of the situation. And I feel that please. And I feel that Cancer, for you, it's so important to remain objective in whatever situation this is. Remain objective, remain unbiased. Do not let like these people's bias get in the way of you making a very clear decision. You know what I mean? Like, don't let them influence you so much to the point that you end up making a misinformed decision or saying something that is very misinformed or believing like misinformation or whatever have you, right? Because with the Knight of Swords, it feels like you're too far away from the situation to really understand everything. You're too far away from the situation in order to gain all of the advice. So it feels like you need to get a little closer. You need to ask more questions. You need to be open to different perspectives, to different like possibilities, so that you don't end up closing yourself off to like only one point of view and only one way of viewing things. I really feel that in order to make an informed decision, or in order to just be informed in general, there is that need of like, you need to get closer, you need to ask questions, you need to like press each person to tell you every single detail without withholding any sort of information, you know, and really ask them and like, you know, really get to the bottom of things so that you don't end up looking stupid essentially. And so that you don't end up making a misinformed decision or just believing anything that is false. You know what I'm saying? So here we have the King of Pentacles reversed, which to me talks about someone who is not taking into consideration the feelings of other people. It could be that, again, this could be like a parent of yours or a friend or whatever have you. But this King of Pentacles reversed to me talks about someone who is trying to maintain a certain status. This to me kind of feels like someone who is trying to gain from the situation in some sort of way. Like it kind of feels like they're trying to use you or other people as a pawn. And I think that's why it's so important for you to be aware and for you to be very objective and for you to ask questions and to press them about whatever situation this is, because it feels like this person might be trying to, like I said, use you as a pawn, trying to get you onto their side because they know that you are a loyal person and they know that you will defend the people that you love, you know, no matter what, right? And that can be sometimes our kryptonite. That can be the thing that works to our detriment, right? Because sometimes we end up defending people that we love, even though they might be in the wrong, and then it messes with us, right? Because we get involved, we get ourselves involved in something very messy, and sometimes we even end up making the situation messier by doing that. So that's why it's so important to be well informed. The King of Pentacles reversed to me just feels like I said, they're trying to gain something out of the situation. They're trying to win. And it doesn't really feel like they're taking your feelings or anyone else's feelings into consideration. They feel very selfish. They feel very self-centered, very self-serving. So that's just something that I would be mindful of. And with the Fool reversed, it's so important for you to not act naive, to not be naive, to not be so quick to give these people the benefit of the doubt, okay? It's so important to ask questions and to ask the right questions so that you don't end up taking a blind leap of faith for someone who probably wouldn't do the same for you, who wouldn't back you up the way that you would. You know what I'm saying? And we have Justice reversed, right? So this to me talks about subjectivity, right? Not taking into consideration the long-term effects of one's actions. And that's what this King of Pentacles reversed feels like. This person doesn't really care about justice. This person only cares about winning. And it feels like they are on the wrong side of justice. And they've probably done something wrong. And but they don't really care. They just care about winning. And with the Justice card reversed, right, they're not taking into consideration the long-term effects of their actions, right? They are very self-serving is what it feels like, and they just want to have that sort of victory. And again, that's why it's important to ask questions, to reveal the truth and not give in to this pressure of having to choose between one or the other, like not giving into the pressure of like this ultimatum, because that's just a very ego-driven thing, right? And I feel like both people are in the wrong. I don't think that one is better than the other. I feel like both people have their issues here, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles is reversed. So this is someone who is codependent. This is someone who doesn't know how to fight for themselves. This Queen of Pentacles reversed might be trying to put you in the middle of things because they don't know how to fight for their own battles. They don't know how to fight their own battles. They don't know how to do things for themselves. They don't know how to fend for themselves. And so they expect you, you know, the loving person and dedicated that you are, the loving, dedicated person that you are, to fight their battles. And that's just not the wave, you know. At one point or another, this person has to learn to fend for themselves. And, you know, it's good to provide advice and everything like that, but don't let this person manipulate you into thinking that you have to take the brunt of everything, that you have to, you know, like, be their representative in some sort of way, or that you have to, like, fight their fight. You know, like, that's, at the end of the day, this is their fight. You don't have anything to do with this. You can provide advice, you can listen, but when it comes to them trying to make you choose between this person or the other person, don't do it. You don't have to choose. Like, it's not just this way or that way. It's not a black or white thing. It's a, you know, like, you can, there is always a third choice, which is choosing no one, right? You being on no one's side. Thinking and knowing that no one is in the right, and that's okay. And not being caught up in the fire, not being caught up in the middle, right? So that's kind of what this feels like to me. Like, I feel that this retrograde is really a time to, like, kind of like mind your business to an extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, mind your business. If this drama does not directly involve you, then let them figure it out. Don't let this person, this Queen of Pentacles reverse, drag you into things because they don't know how to fight their own battles. Because at the end of the day, that's just not fair. And I know that you are willing to literally fight tooth and nail for anyone that you love, for anyone that you feel is helpless or whatever, right? But you need to put yourself first, right? Like, self-preservation on your end is important here. Don't let this person try to drag you into things that do not involve you, okay? They need to learn to fight for themselves, to fend for themselves. Like, point blank, period. Like, that's just the way that things are. They need to learn how to stand up to the selfish, self-serving person, right? And we could even argue that both people are being selfish and self-serving, right? So that's also something to keep in mind. We have the Wheel of Fortune, which to me talks about, like, having the upper hand, going with the flow. This to me really talks about, like, there doesn't need to be any sort of rigidity on your part in the situation. Don't be so quick to make a decision. Don't be so quick to finalize some sort of perspective. Like, be open to all perspectives. I really feel for you, Cancer, that you are being pushed and encouraged to take on a little bit of, like, Libra traits of, like, learning how to be objective, learning how to have a no bias, learning how to be able to see things from the other side. And it's not necessarily playing devil's advocate, but it's just knowing that there is more than one side of the story. There are many sides of the story, and it's up to you to get to the bottom of that and make an informed decision. And for some of you, that informed decision could very well be not involving yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, we don't have enough information. We don't know everything. And their egos might prevent them from telling you the whole truth or telling you an unbiased truth, right? Because they want to win, because they want to have the upper hand, because they want you on their side, because they know that you are a dedicated, loving person and you will literally fight tooth and nail for them if you were on their side, right? It's almost like you're basically collateral damage here, because you're the one taking on all of like, you're taking on the brunt force of everything. You know, like, you're the one at the what is it called? The front lines? The front lines? Is that what it's called? Like, you're, like, at the front of the battlefield. You would be if you were to choose a side. And that, why would you have to choose? Like, why do you have to be at the front lines to prove your dedication, to prove your loyalty to either person? Because, like I said, at the end of the day, this doesn't directly involve you. If it doesn't directly involve you, then, like, I will watch from afar. And that's that, you know? So that's just something to be mindful of. And we have the Four of Pentacles reversed. which talks about rigidity, and it talks about trying to be in control of things, right? Trying to be in control. And I feel like this all feels to me like an ego battle, like a battle for control, like a battle of who has the upper hand, yada yada yada. It doesn't feel like it's a big deal, or it's not a big deal in the sense that it's a very, like, it's just an ego-based thing. It's not anything that's super detrimental, it feels like, or it just feels like a matter of who is in control, it's a very ego-based thing. And I feel like that's why it's important for you not to get super involved, or to like not give into this whole ultimatum thing. And there is another way to solve the problem. You don't have to choose one person or the other. It's not a black or white situation. There's always a gray area. There's always nuance. There is always their side, the other person's side, and then the truth, right? Like there's always nuance. There's always a bunch of shit, right? So that's really what I have for you, Cancer. This is like messy as fuck. So that's why I think it's important for you to really be, like, I keep on emphasizing this, but it's so important. Be objective with this Mercury retrograde, because I know that emotions are running high. I know that logic is basically out of the window, right? Because it's Pisces Mercury retrograde, right? Like logic is basically out of the window. However, it's so important to use your discernment and to gather all of the information before you stick to a certain perspective, before you make any sort of decision. Be careful of giving into ultimatums, because you don't have to. Keep yourself at a distance, okay? Don't let these people drag you into these things and have you fight their battles when it's their battle to fight. Like, stay out of it, seriously. So yeah, that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you were able to gain something out of this. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below. Give the video a thumbs up. Share with your friends, family, loved ones, or anyone else who needs to hear this reading. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. And with that being said, I'll talk to you later. Goodbye. I love you. My babies.